Good afternoon and welcome to the Commencement Exercises of Classes 2020 and 2021, Manuel L. Quezon University, Schools of Graduate Studies and Law. May we invite everyone to please rise and join us in the invocation.
Eternal God, we thank you for this moment. We feel and sense your almighty presence. We ask you to pour your overflowing blessings on all of us who are gathered here today to celebrate a milestone in our lives. Bless us who are about to step out into the real world from the portals of this great university, which has provided us a safe place to learn and a strong foundation to build upon. Bless our teachers and school administrators who have patiently nurtured us. Bless our families who have cared for us, especially our parents who have so richly loved us. And on this day, we thank you for the friends that we have found among our classmates. Be our guide as we walk in the path that our founders have shown us. May we always stay true to their vision of being builders of our nation. Enlighten us and spark the fire of our newly acquired knowledge to bring the power of the law to help those who most need it and those who suffer from injustice, most especially the lowly and the marginalized, as well as the hopeless and the powerless. Empower us always with your divine grace so we will prove worthy to serve as your holy instrument in wielding the might of what is right. We ask this, relying on your compassion and confident in your love. Amen.
After which, please remain standing for the singing of the Philippine National Anthem.
Kayang magiliw, telas ng sinagalan, alam ng puso, sa dikit mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, kuya ka ng magiting, sa mandulupin, di ka pasisingil, sa nagatak tutok sa simoy at sa langit mong pangaw, ay hinagang tula, kawin sa paglayang minamahal. Ang isang ng matawad mo'y tagumpay na naghihingi, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pa may di magdidinig. Lumalang araw ng walhaging pagsinta, mo'y langit sa piling mo. Ang inigaya ng pagkay mga aking, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Manuel L. Quezon University Board of Regents, Administrators, and Academic Deans.
The Manuel L. Quezon University Board of Regents. Dr. Jose L. Acuzar, Chairman. Attorney Paquito N. Ochoa Jr. Former Chief Justice Renato S. Puno. Mr. Peter B. Favela. Ms. Maria Teresa Jose Acuzar Atienza. Ms. Maria Francesca Jose O. Acuzar. Ms. Mary Antoniette Lucille P. Ortile. Attorney Jose V. Mejia. Attorney Richard Roger D. Amurao. Let us now meet the university's administrative officers. Attorney Paquito N. Ochoa Jr., President. Ms. Maria Teresa Jose Acuzar Atienza, Executive Vice President. Ms. Mary Antoniette Lucille P. Ortile, Executive Vice President. Attorney Ria Goles Cabrera, Vice President for Special Concerns. Ms. Florentina D. De Guzman, University Registrar. We now present to you the university's school deans. Attorney Ferdinand M. Negre, Dean, School of Law. Dr. Edgar M. Chavez, Dean, School of Architecture. Dr. Nestor O. Olarte, Dean, School of Criminal Justice. Engineer Dante B. Potante, Dean, School of Engineering. Dr. Godofredo C. Cualteros Jr., Dean, School of Management, Accountancy, Real Estate, and Tourism. Dr. Jaime G. Ab, Dean, School of Graduate Studies. Mr. Jose Ronaldo E. Agustin, Dean, General Education and Student Affairs.
At this juncture, we shall hear from the University President. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Attorney Paquito N. Ochoa Jr.
Sa ating pong lahat, sa ating pong Chairman of the Board of Regents, si Mr. Jerry Acuzar, at sa ating Chief Justice ng Supreme Court, ang kagalang-galang na Alexander G. Gesmundo, at sa mga estudyanteng nandito, magandang hapon po sa ating lahat. Today is a day of several firsts for me. This is my first time to address a graduating class as the president of this institution. This is also the first time we are staging a hybrid graduation ceremony since the onset of the pandemic, which is why we invited several batches, batch 2019, 2020, and 2021. I would also like to point out that among those marching today are individuals who took the first digital and decentralized bar examinations, a groundbreaking innovation undertaken under the leadership of our distinguished guest, Chief Justice Alexander Gesmundo. To the graduates who have long waited for this moment, on behalf of Mlqu, I thank you for your patience and your understanding. Today's ceremony may not totally make up for the time we have lost, but we are hopeful that it will serve as a positive reminder that everything happens in God's good time. Even revered institutions like our judiciary, steeped in tradition and guided by President, had to embrace change because the times demanded it. To ensure that the wheels of justice kept turning, hearings were held online via video conferencing. To allow law graduates to join the ranks of the legal profession, the Supreme Court adopted reforms that paved the way for more than 11,000 law graduates to take the exams in 31 sites in 22 areas around the country. Like judiciary, our educational system adapted as well. Together with other universities, we immediately transitioned to blended learning. We invested in digital technology to hold classes. Instituting reforms and adapting to change are two sides of the same coin, and neither one is easy. It meant having to subject faculty and staff to a crash course in digital online platforms. Also, this required learning in unfamiliar settings in the face of the intermittent lockdowns, quarantines, strict protocols, and mass vaccinations, all the while dealing with fears that you or your loved ones could fall victim to COVID. And yet, despite this adversity and challenges, you all managed to graduate. Sa gitna ng ating pandemya, kayo ay nag-aral, nagpursige, at sa tulong ng may kapal, nagtagumpay. It is said that adversity does not build character. It reveals it. And in overcoming the hurdles before you, you displayed an abundance of faith and a wellspring of perseverance. This will serve you well when you leave our walls. For those who decide to pursue a career in law, getting your degrees is not the end of a journey. It is the beginning of an arduous one. You will have to continue learning. For those who are pursuing careers in other industries or areas of expertise, you have seen firsthand how the pandemic can upend business models and force changes that can be painful and fatal for those unwilling or unable to adapt. In the next few years, you may have to tread unrecognizable terrain as technology and new modes of doing business alter the landscapes of the industries you plan to enter. Your graduate degrees will make you better equipped than the majority of the population. But just like everyone else, you must be willing to evolve and apply what you have learned in an increasingly digital world. Whatever the challenges before you, continue to have faith and persevere. Remember that you are products of a university with a distinguished legacy that is unafraid to embrace the future. But just as we in Mlqu, we must go beyond celebrating past glories and must work to innovate and to embrace technology. You must not rely solely on what you have learned in our university and should continue to learn and adapt to the challenges of the times so that, regardless of your chosen career, you are forward-looking, forward-moving, and forward-seeking. And as Mlqu now aspires to build on the lessons of the pandemic and works to redefine education in an interconnected digital world, you must aspire to blaze new trails, to break new ground, and to bury outdated thinking that is premised on the words, and I quote, "This is the way it has always been done," end of quote. Take with you what you have learned in Mlqu, and with your unshakable faith, unyielding perseverance, and unwavering love, pro patria et iure, for love of country and law, go forth and make a difference in the lives of your families, your communities, and your country. Congratulations to you all. Mabuhay kayong lahat. Marami pong salamat.
Thank you, Mlqu President Attorney Paquito N. Ochoa Jr. Now, we proceed to the conferment of Honorable Chief Justice Alexander G. Gesmundo with the degree Doctor of Laws honoris causa. May we invite the Legal Education Board Chairperson, Attorney Ana Marie Melanie B. Trinidad, to read the LEB Board Resolution.
Resolution number 167-01, approving the conferment of Doctor of Laws honoris causa by the Manuel L. Quezon University on Chief Justice Alexander G. Gesmundo. Whereas on February 16, 2022, the Manuel L. Quezon University applied with the Legal Education Board for the authority to confer Doctor of Laws honoris causa on March 19, 2022, to Chief Justice Alexander G. Gesmundo of the Supreme Court. Whereas the prospective honoree has all the qualifications and none of the disqualifications for the conferment on him of the honoris doctorate degree in law, pursuant to LEB Memorandum Order Number 9, Series of 2017. Whereas the Mlqu is a higher education institution that has been in existence for 74 years, of well-acknowledged academic reputation, and as such satisfies the specific requirements under Section 2 of the said LEBMO Number 9, Series of 2017. Wherefore, be it resolved, as it is hereby resolved, to approve the application of the Mlqu for authority to confer Doctor of Laws honoris causa to Chief Justice Alexander G. Gesmundo in honor of his noteworthy contribution in law as an outstanding member of the judiciary for almost 17 years, from October 5 to present. Approved and adopted unanimously this 28th day of February 2022 in Quezon City, signed by the chairperson, yours truly, Ana Marie Melanie B. Trinidad, signed by Commissioner Josefe Sorority, a regular member, also Honorable Commissioners Lorenzo R. Reyes, Abelardo T. Dumondon, and Alexander T. Dumpa, as well as Justice Chair Prospero de Vera, CHED Chairperson.
Thank you, Legal Education Board Chairperson, Attorney Ana Marie Melanie B. Trinidad. Ladies and gentlemen, we shall now have the conferment of honorary degree. May we request Honorable Chief Justice Alexander G. Gesmundo on center stage. Putting on the academic gown to our honoree is the Chairman of the Board of Regents, Dr. Jose L. Acuzar, together with the Legal Education Board Chairperson, Attorney Ana Marie Melanie B. Trinidad. Thank you, Dr. Acuzar and Attorney Trinidad. May we invite our University President, Attorney Paquito N. Ochoa Jr., for the donning of the hood. Thank you, Mr. President. Placing the medal on our honoree is Dean Emeritus of Mlqu School of Law, Honorable Retired Chief Justice Reynato S. Puno. Thank you, Dean Emeritus Retired Chief Justice Puno. The cap will be placed by the Dean of Mlqu School of Law, Attorney Ferdinand M. Negre. Thank you, Dean Negre. Next is the awarding of the plaque of recognition, which reads, "This is to certify that Chief Justice Alexander G. Gesmundo has fulfilled all the requirements to the degree of Doctor of Laws honoris causa, as agrees in the statutes of the Manuel L. Quezon University School of Law. The Manuel L. Quezon University has awarded for meritorious recognition the person by the principals of the Mlqu academic community, with all its rights and privileges, in witness whereof the signature of the Chairman of the Board of Regents and the University President are hereunto affixed. Awarded during the commencement exercises at Manuel L. Quezon University, Victoria Sports Tower, Quezon City, this 27th day of March in the year of our Lord, 2022. Signed, Attorney Paquito N. Ochoa Jr., University President, and Dr. Jose L. Acuzar, Chairman, Board of Regents. Mlqu Executive Vice President and a member of the Board of Regents, Ms. Maria Teresa Jose Acuzar Atienza, will now award the plaque to our honorees. Now we shall hear from our honoree, ladies and gentlemen, Honorable Chief Justice Alexander G. Gesmundo, recipient, Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, Manuel L. Quezon University. Let us all give him a warm round of applause.
Please be seated. Manuel L. Quezon University Mlqu Board of Trustees Chairperson, Jose L. Acuzar, Board of Trustees Member and MLQ President, Attorney Paquito N. Ochoa Jr., Board of Trustees Member and MLQU Executive Vice President, Jet Acuzar Atienza, Board of Trustees Member and retired Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of the Philippines, Honorable Reynato S. Puno, Board of Trustees Member, Attorney Jose Mejia, Attorney Richard Roger Amorao, Monetary Board Member Peter Fabila, and Miss Mary Antoinette Lucille Ortile, Co-Honoree Senator Francis Joseph G. Escudero, Court of Appeals Associate Justice Philomena Singh, Sandigan Bayan Associate Justice Michael Frederick Musni, Legal Education Board Chairperson Attorney Ana Marie Melanie B. Trinidad, MLQU School of Law Dean Ferdinand Negre, MLQU School of Graduate Studies Dean Jaime Ang, MLQU School of Architecture Dean Edgar Chavez, MLQU School of Management, Accountancy, Real Estate Dean Sunny Cualteros, MLQU School of Criminal Justice Dean Nestor Olarte, MLQU School of Engineering Dean Jose Potante, MLQU Student Services and General Education Dean Haron Agustin, MLQU School of Law Faculty Members, former Dean Gwen Grecia de Vera, Attorney Roland B. Pallier, and Attorney Roel A. Repran, other MLQU Schools of Law faculty members, distinguished guests, partners in the academe, family and friends, my dear law graduates, it is with great pride and humility that I accept this degree of Doctor of Laws honoris causa from the Manuel L. Quezon University. There is no other way to express my deep appreciation but to say the words, thank you. I am truly honored. Thank you also to the Legal Education Board under the leadership of Chairperson Attorney Ana Marie Melanie B. Trinidad for approving this conferment. Less than a year ago, I entered into my position as Chief Justice of the Supreme Court amidst the strictest quarantine classification. I took my oath, ready and hopeful for the task that lies ahead. As days passed, I began to realize that the task was nothing ordinary. In fact, it was overwhelming, unparalleled in scope, and unprecedented in circumstance. But while the court carefully hurdles the COVID-19 obstacle in its own confines, it continuously confronts the long-standing problem of making justice not only accessible but also speedy and inexpensive. Towards this end, I commit to work even harder and deserve this honor bestowed upon me by MLQU, to belong in its rosters of outstanding graduates whose achievements have extended beyond themselves and made a valuable impact on the country. To my dear law graduates, congratulations. As a graduation gift, let me share with you the same advice I gave other law graduates in previous addresses to further enhance your success, not just in law, but also in life. As you are now at the dawn of your lives and the world eagerly awaits your active involvement, indulge me as I run through the course of your chosen field and remind you of the values you should nurture as you move forward in your career as lawyers. As you are sitting there, about to graduate, try to remember all those who have, one way or another, helped you. Foster the value of gratitude. Thank your parents who gave you both financial and moral support, your family, your husband, your wife, and your children, without whose support and encouragement you would not be where you are today. This occasion is as much as theirs as it is yours. For those of you who are working, thank your bosses for giving you time to study. And if they did not, thank them just the same. Because of them, you learn to manage your time efficiently and make use of limited time productively. Thank your professors for passing you, even if you do not deserve it. Seriously, thank them for patiently sharing their knowledge with you, for guiding you, and for believing in you. Above all, thank God for sustaining you. Without God, none of this would take place. Incidentally, let me commend the Mlqu School of Law in its effort to establish its law clinic pursuant to Administrative Number 19-03024 Supreme Court Rule 138-A or Law Student Practice Rule as amended in 2019. I have learned that in this regard, it has partnered with the Asia Foundation through a Memorandum of Agreement signed last year. I understand that under the agreement, TAF will provide mentoring and training, resources, and a referral network with other legal aid clinic and partner organizations, as the Mlqu Clinic primarily serves consumer complaints along with marginalized sectors such as persons deprived of liberties, women and children, and members of the LGBTQ community. Soon, Mlqu students will be immersed in communities, exposed to actual cases, and interacting with real clients. As I have stated before, when we first thought of amending Rule 138-A in 2019, we initially had in mind skills development of law students. In proposing a mandatory clinical legal education program or CLEP as a requirement for taking the bar examinations, we aim to create a pool of competent and practice-ready lawyers. By directing this experiential education towards the benefit of the marginalized sectors of the society, we further aspire to not only inculcate the value of legal social responsibility among our law students, but also extend the availability of legal assistance to those who do not have the ability and resources to secure the services of counsel. Soon thereafter, we realized that with the final version of the Law Student Practice Rule, we have created a potent tool for national development through people and community empowerment and access to justice. The CLEP, which has been fully integrated in the legal education curriculum, is now a mandatory requirement for all law schools in the country. In this regard, let me commend too the efforts of the Legal Education Board, which last year introduced the revised model law curriculum, presenting new subjects relative to the developments in society, both locally and internationally. Indeed, today, we are at the dawn of a revolution, the revolution of developing a generation of highly competent and proficient, and even more important, ethical, service-oriented lawyers. Now, when you prepare for the bar, develop the value of humility. As you study long hours trying to recall, understand, and memorize provisions after provisions, you will come face to face with your human limitations. You will doubt yourself as you do not and cannot know everything, and you can only do so much. You are only human after all. You are limited in mind and body. Embrace your limitations. Know thyself, as your alma mater would remind you. As you realize that you cannot pass the bar with your strength and abilities alone, no matter how great they may be or how great you believe them to be, you will learn to rely on God wholeheartedly. Be humble. Humility will also help you keep an open mind. Speaking of the bar exams, I am sure that you all have heard by now the innovations we introduced in the conduct of the recent exams. For the first time in bar history, the exams were held nationwide, and for the first time too, the exams were in digital format. With these innovations, we have spared examinees from the expenses of at least a month-long stay in Manila to take the test and have eliminated penmanship as a subjective factor in the correction of the exams. Moreover, because of computerization, the bar results will no longer take another half year to be released. So while it might have taken you some time to finish your studies or take the bar exam because of the pandemic, after you have taken the test, you can resume your life, this time as lawyers in no time. Consistent with the court's trust of using technology in its operations, bar applications too were received online, thus saving examinees the expense of personally coming to Manila to submit their applications. In connection with this, exam payments were received through online bank transfer and through cash payments to partner collection outlets around the country. Another innovation we introduced is doing away with the list of top 10 bar exam top-notchers. The court would instead announce the names of those who gave exemplary performance or those with a rating of 85% and above. This eases some pressure off the examinees and eliminate competition amongst themselves. The conduct of the previous bar exams was made more challenging by the ongoing pandemic and the record number of applicants who took the test. Nonetheless, to the credit of Justice Marvic M.B.F. Leonen, the exams was a success. Now, for your exams, we have Associate Justice Alfredo Benjamin Escaliwa to work on the gains we made this year. Now, after passing the bar, you will discover that people will begin to look up to you. Your family or barangay might even put up a banner outside your house announcing that you made it. The world is now at your feet. Enthusiastically, you begin your law practice. You crave to test the knowledge and skills you learned in law school. But as you embark on your career, you will learn that sadly, the system is not perfect. Do not be disillusioned. Resolve to do something positive about it. You will realize too that the law school did not and could not teach you everything. So you would want to learn more, this time from actual experiences and from your superiors or mentors in the law firm. During this phase, do not forget to cultivate even more the values of diligence and respect. Develop a good work ethic. Always prepare for a case. Strive for excellence. If your superior appreciates your work, work even harder. As you attend your hearings, be confident. Even if the opposing counsel is a big-shot lawyer and comes to court with a retinue of 6 or 7 lawyers from the firm, be unfazed. You have nothing to be afraid of if you are prepared. Respect the judge and the opposing counsel. Do not argue with the judge. Believe me, you will never win. Speak your piece, but do not antagonize the judge. Otherwise, you will only invite contempt. Listen to the judge and learn from him. You will be surprised how much of your attitude plays in winning cases at the trial court. At this point, let me just say that propelled by the COVID-19 pandemic, the court made full use of technology to keep the wheels of justice from grinding to a halt. In this regard, we have allowed our courts to receive pleadings by electronic mail and conduct hearings via fully remote video conferencing. Undeniably, technological advances are shaping the way we work and respond to challenges. As I have mentioned several times before, we are in the process of developing and establishing an ICT infrastructure for the Philippine judiciary, while plans to set up an e-court system to enhance court workflow processes and increase virtual access to the courts. We also intend to utilize artificial intelligence, AI, for court operations to promote efficiency in our processes. In fact, already in place in our courts is the Philippine Judiciary 365, a modern workplace collaboration solution which provides courts with the facility to electronically receive pleadings and other court submissions securely, to hear and decide cases via video conferencing, to allow parties to present their arguments and evidence remotely and or via shared document libraries, to generate transcript of stenographic notes of video conferencing hearings in real time, to quickly organize court calendars, to efficiently coordinate among court staff and manage their tasks and assignments among other operations. Soon, too, the judiciary e-payment solution will be operational. It will allow litigants to directly pay court fees online using credit cards, online banking, digital wallet, among other modes and channels of payment. Indeed, we have geared ourselves not only for this pandemic, but also for the future. We are making use of technological advancement to make sure that regardless of the situation, the court can continue with its duty of dispensing justice to all swiftly and efficiently. As technology is reshaping our work practices, we must be ready to adapt and improve ourselves on these aspects. As graduates of law, you must try to expand your horizons and invest more knowledge on technology and skills that will suit our challenging times. Now, 5 or so years later, it will be normal for you to feel a little restless. You would think that you already have enough experience to go on your own, or maybe now you should want to specialize or take a master's degree on a field that interests you. After experiencing the heavy workload and the busy schedule of actual practice, you might want to transfer work and try to strike a good work-life balance. By this time, you would have already realized your strengths and weaknesses in law practice. You may decide to forego litigation and concentrate on writing pleadings. You may want to teach too. With 5 years of practice, you are already qualified to become a Metropolitan Trial Court judge. Mind you, we have a need for young, idealistic, and technology-savvy judges. And as always, judges with competence, integrity, probity, and independence. At this point, the choice is entirely yours, and the world will simply follow. Further, give or take 2 more years. You will think about settling down and raising a family. Others may choose to be singly devoted to their law careers. But as you carry on with your practice and at the same time raise a family, continue to nurture the values of honesty and trustworthiness in your dealings. Be honest with the judge and with your clients. Remember, you are only as good as your word. Develop strength of character. Do the right thing, even when no one is looking. Without your knowing, it will become second nature to you, and soon your law practice will prosper. Later, some of you may choose to enter politics or go into business. Regardless, your legal knowledge will serve you well. Some may continue to be employed. Your law degree and practice coupled with your industry and diligence, will help you easily climb the ladder of success. Others may aspire for a judicial position and hopefully follow your Dean Emeritus' footsteps to become Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. Let me, in passing, give you a pitch for those of you who dream of becoming members of the bench. Being a member of the judiciary is unique in the sense that compared to those from other government offices, the essential qualifications have been constitutionally mandated: competence, integrity, probity, and independence. And from us, the people expect no less. Competence relates to your education, experience, work performance, medical and psychological well-being, and writing and speaking proficiency. Integrity and probity, on the other hand, is your record of and reputation for honesty, integrity, probity, incorruptibility, irreproachable conduct, and fidelity to sound moral and ethical standards. Independence is demonstrated in the decisions you have rendered or reflective of the wisdom and soundness of your judgment. Courage, rectitude, impartiality, cold neutrality, fortitude, and strength of character. Indeed, the Constitution exacts these 4 qualifications for appointment to any judicial post. But for me, instead of qualifications, we must regard these 4 as virtues. Virtues which all of you aspiring to the judiciary must have, not only during JBC interview, but even after, perpetually, not just in the practice of our profession, but also in our daily living, because how we conduct ourselves, even outside courtroom, is a reflection of the court. It is a reflection of the kind of justice the court dispenses. If you pursue a career in the judiciary, you should be the exemplars of these 4 virtues in your community. You must maintain these virtues to the highest degree. By being independent, you should not yield to the pressure of your spouse, classmates, brothers or sis, or friends in social organization or social media. By being competent, you must keep yourselves updated with the rules and jurisprudence. With integrity and probity, you must be the one to demand a high moral standard from your colleagues and not lead, much less ask them to break the rules. With a family now, you may want to have control of your time and decide to go into your own general practice or even specialized one. There's a variety of fields to choose from: intellectual property, arbitration, environmental law, to name just a few. Choose one that you like, and as they say, you will never work another day in your life. In your practice, harbor the value of kindness. Remember, your client deserves the best representation. Give them time. Listen. Do not be dismissive. You will be driven all the more to fight for your client's cause if you are not detached and unfeeling. Likewise, be kind and respectful to the opposing counsel. Both of you are there for a reason. Do not try to show up by embarrassing him in court. You will never know. You might meet again, and it would not hurt to have a friend. If you work for someone, let your work speak for you. Do not step on anyone's shoes. Be kind to everyone. Those you meet going up are the same ones you will meet on your way down. Whatever success you may achieve, make sure that your family is always a part of it. At this point, let me acquaint you with the important amendment to the 1997 Rules of Civil Procedure, Administrative Matter Number 19-10-20 SC. Rule 7, Section 3, imposes additional duties and responsibilities to all counsels, signing every pleading and other submissions to the court. Their signatures basically certify that the pleading is not being presented for any improper purpose, such as to harass, cause unnecessary delay, or needlessly increase the cost of litigation. Should it be found otherwise, the courts will not hesitate to sanction the lawyer or even the law firm responsible for the violation. By incorporating this in our rules, we hope to put a stop to the abhorrent practice by lawyers of giving our people false hopes through the filing of cases which serve no other purpose but to clog the dockets of our courts. Indeed, there is a reason why we are called counsel. It is because our first duty is to counsel or to give advice to our clients, not to immediately encourage litigation. In relation to this, allow me to apprise you of the other programs the court is currently occupied with. We have convened the Subcommittee for the Revision of Rules of Civil Procedure, Subcommittee for the Revision of the Rules of Criminal Procedure, and the Subcommittee for the Revision of the Rules of Special Proceedings. All of these committees have therefore object the streamlining of the present rules to ensure that they promote the objective of securing a just, speedy, and inexpensive disposition of cases. The court will also aggressively launch a campaign for ethical responsibility for both the bench and the bar. The revision of the Code of Professional Responsibility is set to commence, which, once approved by the court and bank, will be brought around the country via an ethics caravan, culminating in a national summit on ethical responsibility. Also, to raise awareness among our people on the availability of the free legal aid, we will launch a national summit on legal aid, which will showcase the two-pronged legal aid initiative of the Supreme Court through the revitalized IBP Legal Aid Program and through the CLEP, which I mentioned earlier. In a revitalized IBP Legal Aid Program, members of the IBP must, as a condition for remaining a member in good standing, render pre-legal aid services for a fixed number of hours per year. Such legal aid should include acting as supervising lawyers to law student practitioners under Rule 138-A, the amended Law Student Practice Rule. The court will also see the inclusion of a database of pre-legal aid providers in the Supreme Court website, and the AI platform for the judiciary will be deployed. The court is also launching this year the Access to Justice Info Sites, which will provide 24/7, 365 information via the internet on the available court services in layman-friendly language. Access to court services should not be limited to face-to-face access, especially in this time of pandemic. Free and no-expense access through electronic or digital means, including social media, will widen the reach of court services and bridge the gap in information between the public and the courts, and hopefully provide our people with a legitimate source of help when confronted with legal issues requiring court intervention. It is also the fastest and most accessible way to deliver needed instructional details to those who need it. I assure you that the courts will continue to be and will in fact be even more accessible to anyone who needs our services. And under my watch, we will strive to deliver such services real time. Now, as you reach for the peak of your career, develop the values of patience and perseverance. Things may become difficult, but do not give up. Difficulties are there to block others from getting what you think you deserve. Persevere, love what you do, and always do your best. Pray to God to sustain you. As sunset draws near, the world is ready to assess your contributions. Now comes the greatest test of your life. Ask yourself this question: did I make use of my knowledge and skills for the good of my fellow men? My dear graduates, when that time comes, if upon reflection you waver in your answer, then you miss the first lesson in law school, that lawyering is service. It is a service to others in need of justice. It is a service to others in search of truth. While lawyering will not leave you penniless, money is not its end. Public service and the administration of justice remains its goals. Lawyering does not give you entitlement. It is not a license to feel superior and be condescending. It does not make you know better and should not make you think you are always right. Lawyering does not exploit a person's ignorance. It flourishes in keeping people informed and aware of their rights. Lawyering thrives on truth, not on lies. A lawyer masters procedure, not to delay one's cause, but to ferret out the truth so that justice may be served. Lawyering is not a license to relax and be passive. On the other hand, it is a license to take a stand, be an agent of change in society. Remember, the law is not a tool for vengeance and oppression, neither for tyranny nor repression. It is a tool for justice. It is an instrument for peace, order, unity, and equality. Law is that the last breath of the hope for the poor, the place of respite for the oppressed, and the last ounce of strength for the injured. As I run through the course of your chosen field, side by side, I showed you the hurdles of judicial reforms, from legal education to bar examinations, through court processes and procedures, to judges and lawyers and the legal profession in general. But this is no obstacle course, and the goal is not to reach the end ahead of the others. Your goal is to persist in the course with your head held up high, knowing that you have upheld the rule of law, where every man and woman is equal, regardless of the station and belief, protected by rights fundamental and inalienable. Mlqu undeniably held the distinction of being one of the best law schools in the country. It has produced legal luminaries who have graced the halls of even the Supreme Court. Hopefully, you graduates will follow their footsteps so Mlqu may regain its rightful position as a premier law school in the country. I am sure and positive that with the leadership of Mlqu's present administrators and Dean of School of Law, Mlqu will be soon producing examinees with exemplary performance, pro patria et hure. I thank once again the Manuel L. Quezon University for this honorary Doctor of Laws degree. In closing, let me share with you this wise counsel of the Supreme Court. The practice of law is imbued with public interest, and that a lawyer owes substantial duties not only to his client, but also to his brethren in the profession, to the courts and to the nation, and takes part in the administration of justice, one of the most important functions of the state. As an officer of the court, and accordingly, lawyers are bound to maintain not only a high standard of legal proficiency, but also of morality, honesty, integrity, and fair dealing. To our graduates, be good to yourselves and to others. Thank God for all your blessings. Congratulations to all and Godspeed.
Thank you, Honorable Chief Justice Alexander G. Gesmundo. We shall now proceed to the awarding of the plaque of appreciation to our honoree and commencement speaker. May we invite Honorable Chief Justice Alexander G. Gesmundo, Attorney Paquito N. Ochoa Jr., Chairman Jose L. Acuzar, Honorable Retired Chief Justice Reynato S. Puno, and Dean Ferdinand M. Negre on center stage as I read the citation. Manuel L. Quezon University presents this plaque of appreciation to Chief Justice Alexander G. Gesmundo for sharing his valuable insights and knowledge as commencement speaker in the commencement exercises of the Manuel L. Quezon University. Given at Manuel L. Quezon University Victoria Sports Tower, Quezon City, this 27th day of March in the year of our Lord, 2022. Signed, Attorney Paquito N. Ochoa Jr., University President. Dr. Jose L. Acuzar, Chairman, Board of Regents. Another round of applause to our honoree, Chief Justice Alexander G. Gesmundo, recipient, Doctor of Laws, honoris causa. We shall now proceed to the presentation of candidates for graduation by the respective deans of the School of Graduate Studies and the School of Law, Manuel L. Quezon University. May I call on Dr. Jaime G. Ang, Dean of the School of Graduate Studies, to present the candidates for graduation.
Mr. President, I have the honor to present the 22 candidates for graduation leading to the degree of Master of Business Administration, major in General Management. One candidate for graduation leading to the degree of Master of Business Administration, major in Marketing Management. The two candidates for graduation leading to the degree of Master in Public Administration. The 16 candidates for graduation leading to the degree of Master in Public Administration non-thesis program. One candidate for graduation leading to the degree of Master of Arts, major in Filipino. The three candidates for graduation leading to the degree of Doctor of Education, major in Educational Management and Planning. One candidate for graduation leading to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, major in Business Management. And one candidate for graduation leading to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, major in Psychology. These candidates have successfully completed all the academic requirements as prescribed by the Commission on higher education and this institution.
Thank you, Dr. Jaime G. Ang, Dean of the School of Graduate Studies. May I call on Attorney Ferdinand M. Negre, Dean of the School of Law, to present the candidates for graduation.
Mr. President, I have the honor to present the 39 graduates leading to the degree of Juris Doctor. These candidates, Mr. President, have successfully completed all the academic requirements prescribed by the Legal Education Board and by this institution. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Attorney Ferdinand M. Negre, Dean of the School of Law. Now, the university president will confer the respective titles and degrees.
By virtue of the authority vested upon me, I do hereby confer upon each of you your respective titles and degrees with all the rights, responsibilities, and privileges appertaining to it. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. President. We shall now proceed to the awarding of the diploma to the graduates.
Graduates from the School of Graduate Studies. Graduates, Master of Business Administration, Major in General Management, Class of 2020. Abarquez, Charmaine Marie C. Alarde, Analincia C. Agustin, Emerson L. Del Rosario, Son D. Labasbas, Maria Justine L. Llenos, Melanie G. Manguban, Maria Emily S. Ross, Jesse Carlo B. Sandoval, Milagros R. Sevilla, Maria Lourdes M. Class of 2021, Bautista, Nina Monica M. Kaiko, Trisha May F. Dames, Maria Sara C. De Sousa, Mary Grace A. Godino, Eden M. Lardizabal, Joseph M. Uterio, Erlan Sar P. Mendoza, Antonio III B. Pakuldar, Angelica A. Sangkopan, Sihawe L. Tuazon, Bernadette Hazel Valerie S. Valbuena, Janine Erlene B. Graduate, Master of Business Administration, major in Marketing Management, class of 2020. De Mesa, Mark A. Graduates, Master in Public Administration, with thesis, class of 2021. Jose Casement J. Untalan, Ulysses A. Graduates, Master in Public Administration, non-thesis, class of 2020. Acosta, Sheena F. Bolalin, Benmark S. Esteria, Luz Christine May P. Class of 2021. Baladad, Eric D. Belien, Carlo Michael W. Cuenca, Mabes L. Datahan, Crystal Era M. De la Cruz, Mer Raquel Joy F. Gonzalez, Hosea Nathan G. Hernandez, Theodora B. Magtangog, Bessie F. Oronia, Rodel P. Roddy, Muhammad Ali M. Ragulfo, Paulette A. Rueda, Rika Marie M. Soriano, Misha Lee S. Graduate, Master of Arts, major in Filipino, class of 2020. Orque, Francis O. Graduates, Doctor of Education, major in Educational Management and Planning, class of 2020. Basena, Teresita P. Namit, Trinidad D. Sangkap, Peter Giovanni A. Graduate, Doctor of Philosophy, major in Business Management, class of 2020. Ireneo, Jose M. Graduate, Doctor of Philosophy, major in Psychology, class of 2020. Sibonga, Lourdes S. Graduates from the School of Law. Juris Doctor, class of 2020. Aquino, Barry G. Buhangin, John Dominic T. Caballero, Amado Ray Jr. M. Candelaria, Jocelyn M. Cancino David S. Casio John Fritz M. Dialca John Lesmer A. Gohon Gilbert A. Kabigding Ray Thomas F. Leonardo Raquel R. Leones Mary Ann B. Merera Lovely Lynn C. Morales Mary Armin Ophelia B. Pabas Alfredo Jr. I. Paulino Arvin Ian M. Ramos Jose Alberto G. Season Josani R. Class of 2021 Acoba Milagros D. Astete Maria Riza B. Auxilios Abel F. Bacani Jose Roylo M. Boquiron Sheila May A. Karandang Lorraine M. Sima Franca Marvin Ike B. De Guzman Anna Ruth D. S. DML Omar Hussein M. Estabilio Jennifer F. Flores Rafael Alfonso A. Ularbal Ermeline Grace A. Lazo Mark Anthony L. Leonardo Jelena May D. Nico Pior Ramon G. Pascual Casey Paula C. Ramos Patricia Blanca D.V. Sales Karel Angela B. Santos Maria Ana D. Verdillo Maria Ian Girl L. Versosa Vincent Dominic T. Villanueva Manuel Jejomar M.
The Mlqu Pledge of Commitment. Graduates, please raise your right hand.
Pledge of Commitment. I am a Quezonian. I subscribe to the philosophy of know thyself and the tenet pro patria et jure, for country and law. I respect the right of every man to his life, liberty, and property, as well as to his dignity and self-respect. I believe in the equality of men before God and before the law. I will obey the rules of the school and the laws of my country. I will endeavor to live a fruitful and meaningful life, guided by the code of honor and integrity, so that I will become a credit to the Filipino nation. I pledge my eternal loyalty to my school, the Mlqu Quezon University, and resolve to never compromise her good name by my words and by my deeds. So help me God.
We shall now have the induction of the graduates to the Mlqu Alumni Association Incorporated. Graduates, please raise your right hand.
I, a member of the Mlqu Alumni Association, do hereby solemnly swear that I shall uphold and abide by the Constitution and bylaws of the Mlqu Alumni Association, exert my utmost efforts to support its projects and activities, do my best to keep its good name untarnished by any act of mine, and to adhere to all the principles and ideals for which the Mlqu Alumni Association stands. I also make the solemn promise that in all my undertakings, I shall conduct myself in a manner befitting a worthy member of the association. Finally, I wholeheartedly pledge my full commitment to my alma mater, the Mlqu Quezon University, in its efforts to build a humane society and enhance the quality of life through education, which is the basic foundation of its vision and mission. So help me God.
We now enjoin the graduates in the singing of the Mlqu hymn.
From every lunar shore and verdant mountain, from seated clamor and by quietude, we have come to Mlqu, perpetual fountains imbibe wisdom, patriotism, and rectitude. Oh, alma mater, our dear Mlqu, to thee our hearts shall forever be, forever and ever be true. We shall not be amidst my Lord's tears, thy light shall ever begin by the years, thy light shall ever begin by the years.
Ang kaalaman ang kailangan sa kinabukasan. Saan ba nagsisimula ang karunungan na hangad? Isang lugar na huhubog sa iyong katalinuhan. Mga munting pangarap mo ay maaari nang makamit. Dito sa Mlqu, you are the best among the best. Sa Mlqu, this is the school for you. Sa Mlqu, dito sikat ka na at sisikat ka pa. Pagkat sikat pag Quezon yan, sikat pag Quezon yan. matibay ang pundasyon kung saan nagmula ang kalinangan at kagitingan. Ito ang tahanan ng mga dakila. Ipagpatuloy ang galing at husay ng Quezonian. Wow! Dito sa Mlqu, you are the best among the best. Sa Mlqu, this is the school for you. Sa Mlqu, dito sikat ka na at sisikat ka pa. Pagkat sikat pag Quezonian. Dito, affordable ang tuition, truly quality ang education. This is the home of nation builders, engineers, top lawyers, and government officials. Ipagmalaki ang galing ng Pilipino. Mlqu, you are the best among the best. Sa Mlqu, this is the school for you. Sa Mlqu, dito sikat ka na at sisikat ka pa. Sikat pag Quezonian. Sikat pag Quezonian. Sikat pag Quezonian. Sikat pag Quezonian.
This concludes the commencement exercises classes of 2020 and 2021. Schools of Graduate Studies and Law, Mlqu University. Thank you so much for joining us.
Ito ang tahanan ng mga dakila. Ipagpatuloy ang galing at husay ng Quezonian. Wow! Dito sa Mlqu, you are the best among the best. Sa Mlqu, this is the school for you. Sa Mlqu, dito sikat ka na at sisikat ka pa. Pagkat sikat pag Quezonian. Dito, affordable ang tuition, truly quality ang education. This is the home of nation builders, engineers, top lawyers, and government officials. Ipagmalaki ang galing ng Pilipinas.